Hello, welcome to your world news, problems, reaction, solutions. It's Thursday the 17th, December. Sorry. Some stuff to screen share here. I hope I don't crash. Maybe anybody can join. Links in the chat and underneath the video and on the event page. Okay. North Carolina Department of Public Instruction awards Questar Assessment Incorporated its English 2 scoring contract. They're based in Minneapolis, Minnesota. They chose Questar Assessment as the scoring contractor. Multi-year contract, terms of which runs through early fall of 2018, involves scoring for approximately 115 districts and some 75 charter schools in the state. Both paper and pencil multiple choice questions and online constructed response components make up the NCDPI English 2 assessment. Minnesota-based assessment company will provide scoring for both components as well as reporting and ongoing statistical feedback to ensure that state standards are met. That's about them. I haven't really got to look into them. I have other things to do. Busy. And American Care Source completes urgent care asset acquisition of Medac in North Carolina. American Care Source Holdings Incorporated, operating under the trade name Go Now Doctors, has closed an asset acquisition of Medac Health Services, PA, for a purchase price of $5.7 million. Go Now Doctors is an urgent and primary care public company trading on NASDAQ under the symbol GNOW. For over 30 years, Medac has delivered high-quality, convenient medical care to members of its community, making it the provider of choice for urgent care services in Wilmington, North Carolina. I don't there, so but still, yeah, state news there. They own a growing chain of 14 urgent and primary care centers and an ancillary services network that provides ancillary healthcare services through its nationwide provider. I'll leave links for that and look into that if you want. And that's them there. I'll leave that link. It's about how much money they make off of your health. Executives and all that shit. And then we have this I saw this morning. It's from 2013, but still I haven't never heard about it. U.S. dairy industry petitions FDA to approve aspartame as hidden and labeled additive in milk, yogurt, eggnog, and cream. So you have that. It's not good. And then about this. New multi-toxin GMOs that produce their own poison carry serious health and environmental risks, scientific review finds. New strains of GM crops that produce pesticides in their own tissues are being approved without rigorous safety testing, even though they may carry serious health and environmental risks, according to a research review conducted by scientists from the Swiss Federal Institute of Technology and the German Federal Agency for Nature Conservation, and published in the journal Frontiers in Environmental Science on November 9th. The crops in question are engineered to carry pesticide-producing genes from the bacteria species Bacillus thuringiensis. I don't know if I'm saying that right. In recent years, companies have increasingly turned to crossbreeding different varieties of Bt crops that now carry numerous different strains of Bt toxin at once. These stacked trait crops are being approved for planting and sale based on several false assertions made by the genetically modified crop industry, the study found, and hiding toxic effects. One such assertion is that each individual Bt toxin affects only a small number of insect pests and has no effects on other species, such as beneficial insect predators, non-target species. But the researchers found numerous studies showing the opposite to be true. That GM crops that killed all the bees in Canada not too long ago, I think. According to lead researcher, companies hide the truth by defining non-target effects in a highly narrow fashion, a quick kill. This is an economic concept. You want a quick kill for economic reasons to save the crop from pest-induced damage. But Bt toxins are not fast-acting toxins, even in target pests. Bt toxins don't kill quickly. It takes most susceptible insects a day or more to die. The Bt toxin in GM crops is expressed in the crop plant for months at a time. Residues linger in soil and aquatic systems. Regulatory tests need to look at long-term and sublethal effects because that is what non-target organisms are likely to be exposed to. Currently, these tests are not required, yet we found a lot of evidence in the scientific literature that non-target organisms such as ladybirds, water fleas, lacewings, and even slugs are adversely affected by Bt toxins. The review also turned up evidence that Bt toxins may have long-term toxic effects in mammals, including potentially in humans who eat GM crops. Of course. The uncertainty around the safety of stacked trait Bt crops is only worse than the researchers noted by the fact scientists do not even understand how Bt toxins function, but yet they're using it on these crops. The formerly accepted model has been widely discredited due to new research and the revelation of scientific misconduct and data tampering by the researchers who first proposed it. So there's the rest of it. That's not good. Anybody wants to join, feel free. Hey, Brat and Debbie. So, anybody wants to join? Come on. That's all I had is more of them trying to kill us with their fucking GMO food. I have nothing else to share. So. I'm waiting on people to join here. Talk about whatever. Most welcome to join. Whatever. Whether have a problem, need some help, whatever. It's raining here today. Yay. Anyone can join. Feel free. Here to talk to myself, I guess. Anybody can join in. Um, and sit down my do. So, not bad news. There. Come on down. Anybody? No. Screen share the YouTube chat, I guess. Hello, guys. Right, Debbie, Grim. Yay. Buddy join. Hello.
Hey, Rebecca, how are you doing this 17th day of December 2015?
I'm good. If it wasn't raining.
I hope you're doing fine.
Oh, yeah. How are you?
Oh, no, better than average.
Oh, that's good.
Better than average. So, how's it going? What's on the agenda? What do you got for today? What have you been
Uh,
talking about?
let's talk about
Don't say
GMOs.
World War III.
GMOs.
GMOs.
Hey, the pesticides.
So GMOs are, what are those? Good morning oranges?
Ha ha
What?
ha.
Talk to me.
Genetically modified organisms.
Ugh, that doesn't sound nearly as good as a good morning orange.
No, no.
What's going on with those?
That is.
You know, I know. I'm just trying to fire it up to,
No.
the
The
conversation.
I then closed my window out for it. So
I'll
I
sprout
really,
off a little crap off the top of my head. Well, it used to be back in the day when we were using hybrids. It was, for thousands of years we've hybridized, and I'm going to make up a word there if I haven't just now. Um, we've made hybrids of all kinds of different plants and animals and all that stuff. But in some cases, it's worked out for us, and in other cases, as in the case of the dwarf wheat being introduced into the big agras staple um, in 1967, uh, due to the phytic acid and the harmful effects. That's basically one of the bad examples.
yeah,
And but a lot of people aren't quite aware of that one yet, and they still think, if they eat wheat and certain grains of that nature, that they're doing themselves a favor, health wise, and only it's just catching on to, but it's slowly catching on. People are starting to realize it's maybe the cause of their particular diabetes or any of the other
yeah,
ridiculous lack of nutritional sustenance type what they call diseases, you
yeah.
know, and but all of this doesn't come from just one article. You
Oh,
gotta fly through and read a little bit about Anton Beauchamp pleomorphism, so that
yeah,
you know what spontaneous biogenesis is
yeah,
really all about. How that affects the body, how the body needs to be prepped for
yeah,
those situations to even occur
yeah.
chemically. So if your pH is proper, you're not going to even allow those problems to start.
Yeah.
And a good pH would it all. It's, every human being is a little bit different,
Oh, yeah.
but you find your proper pH, and there's good ways to do that too. So people just need to get out online and empower themselves uh, with. There's a lot of wacky stuff out here, but there's also a lot of very good information out here, and they need to learn how to sift through the bullshit and get to the good stuff before they close the internet on us. I
Oh,
don't
yeah.
mean to sound
Oh,
weird or paranoid, but
oh,
they're already turning certain vitamins into chemicals and chemicals into vitamins, and they're playing with us. So in a big way, I mean, in educationally,
yeah.
a lot of people believe a lot of silly stuff, and that's scary.
Yeah,
And
it
there's
is.
more simple answers to a lot of these so-called, I'm doing the quotations, complex uh, you know problems.
Yeah.
Simple answers to these complex problems. you know
Yeah.
so health, nature, fun stuff. Yeah, GMOs, no good, especially the ones with the I can't think of what is it called?
Gluten?
No. GMOs. The
Not
pesticide.
really.
It
Yeah,
starts
that
with a
meat.
GLY something.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can't
Anyway,
remember.
it's the Agent Orange. It's
Yeah.
basically what it is. The glyphosate, some shit.
Glyphosate.
Glyphosate. Yeah, glyphosate.
Yeah, my neighbor uses that shit.
Okay, this is causing some major problems in human health, and so and it's proven now. There's all kinds of good evidence on that. So what we're uh, what we're facing is a stupidity issue at this point, where a bunch of apathetic people are just not trying hard enough, not caring quite enough, not reading the labels, not
Yeah.
wanting labels enough. We're it's kind of screwing with us.
Yeah.
So there's sort of you end up getting sort of like an animosity feeling towards the damn sheep.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's not like I say the damn sheep like that because that's I'm just trying to emphasize that point. You know, but still, you do get that sort of animosity after you realize that it's not just a sheep anymore that doesn't know anything.
Yeah.
It's an actual person that you've tried to explain it to, and now he has gained teeth in their fangs and is now biting you and poisoning the people around you with that and you,
Oh
you
yeah.
know, and they're no longer a sheep. What are they at that point? That's what I mean. It's not like I'm actually saying, oh, the damn sheep. It's the
Yeah.
ones with fangs, which
Oh.
they're actually wolves with no brains. Wolves that don't want to just kill for food, but just kill for fun.
Hmm.
And that's what I'm talking about here.
Yeah, I
So
get
we
that.
really are at war. That's why we call it an information war. And
Hmm.
that's why what we think are the sheep, the regular people, they're not so much sheep. They got teeth.
Yeah, I get that a lot when I'm trying to explain
Empowered with false awakening awareness that someone told them they're awake now, so they feel like they're awake and they don't need to listen.
that.
They're aware.
That's like people I know around my area. I try to tell them about the GMOs and that they're bad, and they're like, "Well, you're crazy. They wouldn't hurt us. That's good for us." And McDonald's too. I've told plenty of people about that, and they still eat there. I mean, and wonder why they have severe stomach problems. I mean, come on,
Diabetes and all this shit. Go take a damn insulin shot and then go to McDonald's right afterwards. What the fuck?
really.
Excuse my French. Hey, Lost, how you doing?
Hi, I'm doing fine. How are you doing?
Yeah, pretty good, pretty good.
Yeah,
Been a
good.
while since I've been on this podcast.
Yeah, I know, me too. What you were saying is really important. I mean, I still see going forward. I mean, definitely we have a need to try to understand how to actually find solutions we can implement and live with. But at the same time, we still have a large job of awakening other people, at least making other people aware of the things that took us years to learn. In order for them to know, they have to do something similar themselves. I mean, there's still too many people, way too many people, who don't have enough information to know that there are huge problems that are directly affecting them right now, right there in their grocery store, right there in everything they interact with. So I agree with you. We have still a huge job ahead of us.
Oh, good.
Mm.
What about you, Becky?
She was on mute.
Sorry. And
I know. I was just messing with you. I know you muted up.
sorry. Oh.
I'll tell you though, you almost got to pick your battles. You do got to pick your battles because there's a million things to bitch about, and a couple of things that we can do about it.
Hmm.
And I think I keep watching all these people bitching and bitching and bitching about all the way the world's going around and how the banks are so bad and how Facebook is fucking the CIA and how fucking they're just bitching every day about it. And then they'll tell you, yeah, donate via PayPal and see my Facebook post.
Hmm.
It's like, well, fuck you guys. How am I supposed to listen to y'all anymore?
Well,
LOL.
Facebook. I don't
Graham, I
even
think
go to Facebook anymore.
Graham, I think part of the key there is when you're in the mode where you're spending some time trying to again spread the information. I think that one of the keys is how we put that information out there. If we just put it out as like something almost as if we're scaring people. I mean, I understand why originally a lot of people thought that was the way to go because you're trying to shock people into paying attention to what you have to say. But we also see that the cumulative effect of everything people see in the news and everything else where we're just so over downtrodden with all this fear stuff. somehow we have to maybe package the information a little bit differently in a more empowering sense, where on the one hand we're saying,
No,
we
I hear what
believe.
you're saying. Can I interrupt you?
Okay.
I hear what you're saying, but before I forget my spot, you see how people say they want that, but then when you give them what you're fixing to say, when you give that to them, then they go and watch Dabu 7 because they want the other thing. They lie to you. They tell you they want that one thing, and then they go over there and they watch that other shit anyway behind your back. They need that. They want it. That's the sickness we're dealing with.
I think
Look at the people who have all the subs, and you know who's getting watched and why.
mhm,
That's how you make that's how you know. That's what you know. You go and you
mhm,
see with your own eyes. You see those are the people. They're over there. That's everyone in the world. You know what I'm saying? They're all watching that kind of shit, from CNN to Dabu to all those type of
mhm,
people. I mean, I
yeah.
just don't know a bunch of them because I only know a few of the retards. I don't care to
I,
go know them all, but you know what I mean? They're
I,
just
I know I know
putting out
there's a
10
lot of
videos a day.
people.
It's all about the fucking World War III, and some of them will tell you, oh, it's a distraction as they distract you with it the whole time. It's
Mhm.
like, say one thing, then do another. Why don't you?
Well, I know there's a lot of people that, like you say, are addicted to the fear element and the drama that it brings into their lives. I'd
Yeah,
also think there's a lot of people who aren't. They really do want a more
yeah, but I already
proactive
talked to
change.
all of them.
Uh-huh.
14 of them.
Okay.
I already talked to them. There's 14 of
Mhm.
people who aren't.
well, I for
You
one, I
understand?
don't like the fear shit.
You
I'm
get what I'm
telling
saying,
you.
right?
Mhm.
It's like a lot of people. It's like they say they don't, you know, uh, do something, but they do it anyway. When
Well,
you're
from
not,
a psychological
just
perspective,
because
why do you think
you
they're that
are.
way at this point? Yeah.
Yeah. So it's one thing or another. So
Mhm.
what are you supposed to do with that? It's just it's no longer. Here's my thing. Is just like I got somehow wrapped up into this thing where people are like, prove it to me, show me that, prove it to me, throw me that. I'm not doing that anymore. I don't need to do that.
Mhm.
I don't work for you
Mhm.
fuckers. Sorry.
Mhm.
If I'm going to have a conversation with you and if I say something that enlightens your fucking view, you can go research it and look it up and do all that kind of stuff. I don't debate you. I don't give a fuck to. It's not my problem.
Mhm.
Sorry. I don't get paid for this. I don't got time for that. I'm too old for this. I'm not
Mhm.
going to play games like that. So, yeah, I came in here wrong with that shit. Just because I can doesn't mean I need to every fucking time.
Well,
That's
no,
what it
that's.
is.
I mean, that's a. Everyone has the right to pick, as you say, pick their battles and pick their methods and their approaches. Everyone has that right, and each approach is going to cater to a particular niche of people, I think. And in your case, that approach is going to cater more to people who, as you have said before, have already dug in and studied and learned certain things and are very serious about what they've learned. Correct? And
Yeah.
they're not in a game playing mode at that point. They're not after, you know, just entertainment. Hearing the information from an entertainment perspective or from a drama perspective. And in terms of the kinds of people you want to work with, those are exactly the kinds of people you're looking for. So that approach is perfect. And I I also do believe there are more people in that train of thought than we might imagine.
Mm-hmm.
At least I only
I don't
hope
know if
so.
it's that I might imagine. It's that
Mhm.
I'm comparing to the rest of the people. We're
Mhm.
talking about 7 billion people on the planet.
Yes.
All right. We're all still using the terminology that the 1% run things. It's 0.1% that run things, folks. Wake up.
Well, and
Y'all
I'm
are a
also
1% away from the reality of what's going on here.
I'm also coming to the conclusion that in a very real way, that 1% isn't even really running things. We're allowing that 1% to convince us that we can't fight certain things. Okay, it's still within us.
That's what
We're
I'm trying
making
to
the
say. It's not
choices.
really 1% even. And we're
Right, or
still
whatever
pussy.
the
We
percentage is.
still can't
Yeah.
take our money out of the bank because exactly what you're saying. All
Hmm.
of that. Because I took my money out of the bank. I mean, I might be using platforms that originally didn't start off as being what they're, you know, or we were told that YouTube was supposed to be for us, and there would be no censoring and all that shit, and then it just slowly weaned it all on us
Mm-hmm.
after trying to get you hooked on it. Then they wean it on you, and then they change everything around, take away, you know, certain things. Now you got to, you know, got retards out here able to pay for stuff and, you know, pay for views and all that kind of shit. That's just weird. Like, that, why even play a game if you're gonna cheat? Why buy all the cheats in a game if you're just gonna,
Mm-hmm.
you know, why play it? People buy like Call of Duty and then they buy all these fucking cheats and shit. You know, why cheat? It made no fucking sense.
Right. I mean, that's an important part of what this overall theme of what a number of people are coming to the conclusion on, and that is that it's all okay, that both the good and the bad that's been generated on, on this earth, okay, amongst the human community, is within us. I mean, we're the ones who are responsible for the world that we allowed to be created here.
But you're
And
kind of forgetting that we got about an 8 to 15,000 year catch up to do. Because
yes,
we've been, because when you say, oh, it's about us and only these 1% have done, you know, whatever, they might not have as much control as you think. No, I think they have way more control than you think, if you're thinking that way. You see, because they control your books that you read. They control the school that you go to. They control the religion that you believe. You think they're not controlling much? It just don't take many more. I mean, you've got a lot of compartmentalizations. They're not a part of the game, but they are a part of the structure of them. So even all the way down to the layman, as that pyramid is built with strength, because each person doesn't know why they're a block and what they're doing. The Shriners don't know they're grabbing a bunch of money for the wrong things and shit. You know, the little guy
hmm
catching the donations. Are you
well,
with me? Are you following?
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Oh, okay.
But I'm trying to see this from maybe a little different perspective
I'm
lately.
trying to not relax people about this, not at this late in the game. You know, it's really, you got to understand that all the blocks matter in the pyramid. You can't, like, we keep thinking that there's this pyramid structure and we keep trying to attack it from any angle as you would a regular geometry structure. It's not like that. You're not going to take bricks away from it like that.
I agree. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I
Like,
would
if you take off the top, the chief cornerstone, all the other bricks still believe in the system that holds it together. So you have to start everywhere.
but that's just
The bricks have to realize that they're being bricks,
hmm
you know, and that's where I'm at with this. Because, you know, it is a lot harder if you, like, you, otherwise I think you're just stating the obvious. Yeah, there's only a few. We could beat them if we just all woke up. But see, you can't just all wake up,
no. Okay,
you
that's
know?
not what I'm stating. Okay, okay. All right.
Oh, it's not?
Back on that expression that they control. Okay, I would say I would just reword it from a personal empowering perspective. I would say they
Hmm.
try to control.
Oh, because
They
they're not
try
doing
to.
a very good job of it or
Oh
something?
no, no, they're doing a really good job with many people, but it's always an
Oh.
attempt on their part to control.
So you're
Because
under the impression, you seem to be under the impression that there are many people who are awake.
no, I'm not saying that there may be no one but just 5 people that are awake. It's still what they do is they try to control, right? That's what their approach is. In other words,
Try, or are they
okay, let me
controlling?
finish. Let me finish. Okay, we're talking about a group of people who themselves never actually do any of these things that hurt other people. What they try to do is control others so that they will hurt each other.
Are you
They can.
assuming that they don't actually do these things?
Well, I'm saying that for the
Because
most part, when
I
I
have a
see,
feeling that people like that actually hunt humans and shoot them and shit.
oh, but listen, as far as that goes, they may have their own level of it, but all the things I see that enter my life that could hurt me are things that are done by other regular people like you and I who have been propagandized to become a soldier or become this or become that. So the dangers that I face are faced by people who, as you say, if they were more self-aware that it doesn't even serve their own interest to serve that system,
Right.
then
So
they would
how's
not
that
be the source of
contrary to
the
what I
problem.
said? How was that contrary to what I just said?
It isn't. I'm not arguing with you. I'm just saying. I'm saying what I find myself more and more trying to focus on is um, how do I express this? Realizing that the power is within me and you and every other single person out there. That we've always had the power, the ability to be empowered, where we can become not dependent on any kind of you know offering or propaganda that comes our way that would cause us to help to generate the kind of world that would hurt each of us. Okay, that it's within us that these people have no power if we don't go along with and we don't recognize when they're trying to manipulate us into these things, into hating each other, into hurting each other, into for the sake of profit. You know what I'm saying. And so that one of the things we always need to do is work on ourselves to make sure that we are constantly inwardly aware of what our own how powerful we really are as people. And I've heard
And
you say that many
exactly
times.
right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Now my point, and I figured that was already like that's scratch from starting from scratch. We knew that. Now there's this big problem of all the things that they control that I'm talking about, which is a
Mhm.
lot of control, a
Yes.
lot of things. You see, it was as if you came in and started saying, well, no, it's not that what you said, it's what this, and I'm saying
Mm-mm.
it's
That's
not
not at
that,
all what I was
because you
saying.
still do
No.
have a giant problem. You still do have so much to deal with, and
Mhm.
it is control.
Mhm.
So, and there are a lot of people, like you said, they blah blah blah, but they're still involved. They're still a part of the control. Bricks. They need to be told that they're bricks. Your bricks
Right.
for a
And that was
structure
and
that
that
should
was kind of
fit.
why I brought it up is that I think the key maybe is in terms of helping each other become more aware of our own internal powers and our own ability to empower ourselves and others, that somehow we have to work on that aspect of the psyche, because if we don't, then like you say, they become too susceptible to I just I didn't realize I was going to get in this kind of conversation this morning, but uh, I
Well,
guess what I'm saying is it's more of an internal working that we need to help each other with, that will help us
yeah,
get
but how
out of
many
this
times we've been
mental
saying that for
cage.
fucking years? I mean, did you just come up with that today? We've been saying that for years, right? We've been saying that. We've always been saying that. We've always known that. We all know that. We can all repeat it. But will you take your money out of the bank?
I've actually started
That's my
that
thing. There
already.
I am.
Yeah.
I know. But who else has? Will they? Will they stop? Will they stop using the system? Exactly. Now everybody's quiet. That's the point that I'm trying to make. You can say everything all day long. It's all internal. It's within you, and you can start, and you be the one, and you take your fucking money out of the bank. Then you know what I'm
Hmm.
saying, folks? Be the one. Then quit talking about change and be that motherfucker.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because it
Yeah,
makes it hard on me. I got all this goddamn cash out of the bank, and there's no options for me to pay bills and do things without me having to physically do all this kind of shit. Because guess why? There's not enough demand for it because not enough motherfuckers took their money out of the bank yet.
hmm.
As soon as there's a demand for it, there'll be another option to make things easier.
That's right. Hmm.
So come on, folks, change or not, you know. I'm tired of hearing people talk about what they know and how right they are and all that bullshit. I don't give a fuck. Do something about it then. Knowing it don't that makes it even worse. Now motherfuckers know everything and they don't do shit. That's why I got
Right.
mad at fucking Harry Cookie Monster. Because
Well,
it's really like it's a bad way to fucking be at somebody, man. You
hmm.
can't just correct people all day long while you got your motherfucking money in the bank. While you got your both fucking legs inside the system.
Mm-hmm.
Getting your welfare checks and going to the doctors about your shit, getting your treatments and stuff, and smoking cigarettes anyway, and you just whatever, man.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't hear you anymore every day. Sorry. You ain't doing shit. You ain't changing. You can't even change your shirt. Sorry. I get pissed, man. People don't deserve as much credit as they've been getting from me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm more mad at myself for being that nice to motherfuckers that don't deserve it. Take your money out of the bank. Quit being a pussy, man. Quit, you know what I mean? God damn. Quit telling me the bank is bad if you got money in the bank. That's all I got to say.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're damn shilling. Literally. I'm not talking about Harry. I'm saying everybody, though.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well,
everybody's trying to
again, that
correct
and when that
everybody all
gets
the
down to
time.
that,
What's
that
that
gets down to
bullshit? You've been hanging around. That's come in and start acting like you're correcting people's positions and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, no, man. Why is this? Oh no, what I'm saying is gonna be better than what you're saying. You're both talking about dumb shit.
Mm-hmm. And
Neither one
Graham,
of you taking your money out of the bank.
that gets back to that self-reflection again.
Went and got him a
In other words,
flu vaccine or whatever. You know.
right, where it gets back to that area of self-reflection where you're looking at, okay, I say I'm awake, I say I see these things and how real they really are. But if I really felt that they were, if I felt it, if it was really a part of my emotions that these things are real and they can harm me, then I would know that I would have to take those steps. It wouldn't even be that difficult for me to know it. Okay. So then that becomes the question: is do you really feel it yet? Do you really feel the danger of being a part of that structure, that system? And that comes from that self-reflection, you know.
Yeah, people get all sucked into this, the Jews this, the Jews that, the fucking Christians and Muslims this, the Muslims. That's all sucked in. You're sucked in at that point.
Well, see,
There ain't no
that's
Jews and
part of
Christians
the
and
problem.
Muslims as far as the leaders go. It's the
Right.
pharaohs. Forget about that shit, man.
Well, Graham, I think that's part of the problem where a lot of folks are still in the mode of finding someone else to blame for who perpetuated this system without realizing that we all have had our part in it by participating in it. We all have a burden of that blame, and it's when we accept that, that's when
Yeah,
we
but
get
it'd be kind of nice
motivated
to
to
be able to
change it.
point at one particular moment in time when we got
Uh-huh.
fucked so that we can actually blame someone else. That would be
Uh-huh.
nice. That way it's a little easier to deal with. So what we could do is be like, tell them, yeah, you got fucked when the cataclysm happened, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and the power grid was shut down and we lost all of our technology. That's when you got fucked because some ruling elite thought it would be a good idea for them to just have an ant farm out of us now and control it the rest of the way.
Mm-hmm.
They rolled out all the philosophy that we already knew, and it was easy to give it to a world of dumbed down because of no school and education and no communities and all that surviving with the animals type fucking catastrophes going on, changing of gravity and all that shit, you know.
Mm-hmm.
That would be generations of, you know, lost tech. I mean, just 2 generations of our kids with no tech, they would be like, you see a cell phone, think you were some sort of a god with a projector screen on it. Holy shit!
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like literally be writing stories about you for 2,000 years, about how you fucking showed in metallurgy and you know you had a glowing light and shit, and it was a cell phone. But you know, point being, here that's fuck. What do you think happened there, folks? The guys with the silver hair and the glowing light came in the fucking ships. Those are not aliens. Those were tech. Those were our tech. We were just older. Those were the generations that they came to that were left alone for so long. They didn't see any
Mm-hmm.
tech.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And
and
the
it's really
others were
interesting once
attacked
you
so that the
expand
information
your
was
mind
stolen.
to that possibility that it may well be the explanation for a lot of things that were interpreted certain ways in the past.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
it tells those stories, man. And you got people, you know, some of the they everyone thinks they're good because they're coming at you as a good. They're saying, you know, I'm going to show you this. I'm healing your people. You know, here's how you not be sick. And wipe some sodium bicarbonate on your skin cancer. Look at that. He healed him. Wow. Just touched him. Shit like that, man.
No, that's an interesting idea that some of the instances where people have supposedly touch healed. It could have been something as simple as they had the knowledge of something.
Of
That if
course.
others had the knowledge, they could have done it just as easily, and it's not a big deal. Yeah.
Yeah. And sunlight actually heals some of the problems that people have.
Hmm.
And they're gonna be like, oh, Jesus healed you from your, whatever the fuck, psoriasis, leprosy.
Leprosy. Where attention goes, energy flows.
But
Hmm.
Indra, Mithras, all these, Quasicolte, all come down from the sky and shit. No, man. This guy. I'm just saying. We're talking about fun stuff.
Hmm. Well, yeah, yeah. Like I said, I keep thinking. I know that what works for me to get off the off the um, analysis side of it and actually start to execute things has always been when it just occurs to me that, you know what, I can solve a lot of these problems myself. I mean, at least I can do my part, as you say, by recognizing those aspects of the system that we're in that are negative and not being a part of that. And by the same token, recognizing those aspects that may be positive that are created by other people that should be encouraged. But realizing that
Right.
it's within me to do that. And that the system
Right.
is what it is because of all of us, not just because of a small handful of 0.01% of the population, but it's what it is because of what all of us have chosen to do at different times. If we chose to be a part of it, we helped to make it that way.
That's right, but there's this illusion of choice that you're projecting out on accident. I'm sure that you're saying that we had a choice, when in reality, no one said this is the bad way and this is the good way. They just said this is the way,
Hmm.
and so we had no choice at that point. And,
We
and
had no choice in terms of what we were born into. Yes, you're correct. Hmm.
there you go. And so, you know, that's why I have this idea that it's easier for us not to have to accept all the blame from the birth on, but from the point where you knew on.
Exactly. I
I
agree with that 100%. But once we do know, then we have a responsibility.
Right, and same with not wanting to accept all the responsibility onto us for that whole thing, because now that you do know, there's still not much you can do that actually is going to make life for any easier for you than these little. What I'm trying to say is the system is as fucked as it is. If you jump outside of it, you're even more fucked. They make it that way.
Hmm.
So we have to figure a way to be able to jump out of it without having to be so darn screwed.
Well, I think in truth, you're never going to completely jump out of it. You have to recognize that you're going to have one foot in it and maybe one foot out of it. But
No,
that's
if we
again
took,
where,
if we actually, the reason when I say jump out of it, I mean if we took, like, if you're born in a country, okay, then automatically, or if you have citizenship to a country, however it works out, we'll work that out. The what's in that country is part of yours too. So if your country is together deciding that they would like to export some of their minerals, then that you get a kickback. Why would you have to work like that other than to help other people and build homes and do stuff like that?
hmm
There would be a whole different way of life. It would be like we're all the royals. Every one of us could be the royals. We
right,
don't
and
have to
that's
we don't ever have to have where we feel better than someone else, and we can
hmm
all feel good enough. I mean, royally good
well,
enough.
and that's the
Eating dinners on
that's
our tables every night and gold laced fucking underwear if you want. We can all have it. It's enough for all of us here to do that. Makes no sense that we're all going to sit here and fight each other over fucking bullshit.
hmm
Oil's
well,
free, man.
and that's the kind of system ultimately maybe that I mean that ultimately that we want to help build. Now we have to understand how do we get there. It's one step at a time, and but it's crucial that we keep taking those steps every single day, or we will not get there. And so but again, it's to try to also, in addition to defining in as crisp and clear away as possible what we think that better world looks like in detail. In fact, the more detail you can define it, the more you automatically know what are the steps, the baby steps, one at a time, that will get you there. Right?
There
Am
ain't
I
baby.
thinking along this?
My point. Here's my point. There really aren't any baby steps you can take to get there. You have to do a lot of things at once, and that's big steps. Because getting there, you can't just get there one step at a time. There's too many things involved. One step at a time, you all of a sudden now you have a kid going in school and you haven't got to step vaccines yet, and then it's too late, and that you can't do one step at a time here. Because everything is bombarding us at the same time. You have to do a lot of steps at once. Meaning you have to information junkie everything you need to do first and then do them all at the same damn time, basically. I mean, that's how the effectiveness will actually hurt them anyway.
I agree with everything that you've become aware of at this point in time. You need to implement all of those things. But I think I just was saying, rephrasing it the way I was, is because even all of that is still a baby step to this totally different world that we're talking about. Because, well, and frankly, it's because so many other people have to do the same thing in order for the total effect to be realized. But that doesn't mean you can't be doing it. And in fact, you have to do it if it's what you say you've come to know.
Yeah, I'm just not with trying to tell people that they're made it and they're there already when they're not, because that's a false sense of, comfort and relaxation, and brings back the sleepy laziness.
Right. Well, because you're not doing them any favors by sugarcoating it when you know that's not true. You're a better friend to them if you tell them what you see, the reality of what you see here. That it's not, that information isn't doing them any good unless they're somehow implementing it.
So oil's abiotic. All I can see is Putin is the man in the fucking news. Everybody's falling for it. And when I say everybody, I don't mean everybody, but you know what I mean. I'm generalizing. And it's sad and scary to see them doing this. They're not getting they're not even in the deep enough level to know about Freemasonry so much. And they're all like, yeah, man, Putin is, man, he's trying to fix things and stuff. It's like, man, they're making the good cop, for the good cop, bad cop scenario, guys. Hello. Being the good cop, you're still a cop. You're still going to get fucking arrested. Don't worry.
I think I have seen more and more people begin to question all that. Yeah.
You got to relieve the pressure. Putin is amazing, but it stinks. Careful where you poot.
Oh, God.
Never trust a poot.
Thanks for the change in frequency. That was good. Oh, my.
Yeah. So, yeah, Putin's going to tell on the U.S. for having a fake space situation. Well, what about the Russia's fake space situation? They're going to tell on themselves for that? No, I guess he backed out of that little statement, didn't he? I guess he quit talking about that, eh?
I was talking with someone the other day about how also on the weapons front. I don't know, Becky, if you remember who was talking about that. They have an incredible, at least the story that's there is that there's an incredible level of development from Russia that puts them very much in an aggressor point of view, aggressive mode in terms of, I think it's weapons in the form of aviation type weapons. Okay.
We have it too here. It's just that, it's just that, it's time. It's wartime. They have to play this game for us.
Right.
They have all the same weapons that they have. It's just if they wanted some Russian planes, they could go and borrow some if they wanted to.
Of course.
Literally, it's the Committee of 300 owns them both.
Well, yeah, because all we're talking about here is the Russian wing of the power versus the U.S. wing of the power. I mean, these are not separate.
they've always swapped
Problem.
scientists back and forth so that they can learn in
Hmm.
whatever different laboratories or wherever they are. You know, oh, they build a good laboratory in Kentucky, then we'll send the fucking Germans to Kentucky. Then they build a good laboratory, and you know what I'm saying? Back and forth, playing the fucking game. Like it's, do we think? I mean, do we think?
That's the question.
Yeah. They're going to pass around their top scientists. They're going to pass around their same media stories, one propagating a little differently than the other. It's the same propagation at the end of the day. It's pushing the same meme, no matter what. Two different sides of it, doesn't matter. The same meme is pushed. The same rationalization is happening.
Well, and then once again, though, amazingly, if you think about it, they could push
Sides.
that meme morning, noon, and night, and if the vast majority of people were awake to this being what it actually is, it would have no impact. You know, I mean, they could not pull off their, you know, their if the war was the plan, or if the plan was just to use the threat of war, it would have little impact.
I used to think that Fleabite used to be joking because he would say stuff like that. Russian nothing is 30 years ahead of nothing. There's no Russian or U.S.
Hmm.
They use the same tech. They just paint them different, and they tell you they'll let one plane be shaped a different color and shaped a different, thing, and another plane. They don't fucking. There's no separate teams, dude. They're both the
Hmm.
committee of 300. There's no diff. There's no. They pretend to be different. They let one be different. They let one be different than the other. Do you think we don't have the same technology? Of course, we have the same technology.
There's been too much evidence of this throughout the years, you know, during other conflicts, the funding of both sides, the manipulation of both sides, for us
It's
to
not my
remain
opinion, bro.
naive on this
Sorry.
point anymore. Yeah.
It's actual fact. They swap the information back and
Mm.
forth. You can go online and see the information for the sound weapons and shit. You know, the DARPA has all of that as well. You guys are wrong. You're wrong, Fleabite. The U.S. has all of that shit. The same shit, just painted different colors and shaped different shit. Shaped
Sounds
different colors.
sounds lovely.
That's to make it as ridiculous as it is.
Mhm.
You know, shaped all different colors. Yeah. Same shit though.
Different geography, same shit. Yeah.
Yeah. Different shape. They got to look different. All made in China.
That's the
Okay.
irony of it.
Get the fuck out of here. All made in Switzerland. All made in China. All different shit. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Right.
Contractors make
There's
that shit.
nothing about it, not even the production of it, that we benefit from anymore.
International contractors make that shit.
Hmm.
International.
Hmm.
Yes. They contract that shit.
And as I said, in the U.S., ironically enough, there is no benefit. I mean, at one point, maybe we had jobs from manufacturing it, even though it didn't serve us in the end. But now we don't even get that. We don't even get the jobs from it. But
The same shit cake with a different filling, Tazzy. Tazzy.
let's quit talking about the food reference, please.
We all
Hi,
have our
everybody.
pie onions.
My oh my.
At this point, you gotta be kidding.
Oh, I see this. Yeah, see, the kind of problem here is, it's almost like, what you used to call angles in prisons.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. And
Wow.
this is what keeps us really off track of what things
And
we can
separated and off
do.
track. Yeah, way
Well,
off
I
track.
mean, what we can do to be effective. I mean, I'm only speaking in terms of myself and what I know, the things that that I've done before and that I'm starting to do now that I know are making a difference. And they really don't have anything to do with knowing those kinds of details. I don't need to know. I mean, it doesn't do me any good to know the details of, like, maybe different weapon systems or this or that.
Mm-hmm.
What I need to know is, how do I effectively still
Because
be
you
able
have
to
to know that,
participate?
yeah, you have to assume, of course, they could actually put a different kind of plane in another country and another kind of plane in another country to keep the illusion that they're separate. That's a super simple, super easy thing to do. And if that's your proof, then that just doesn't mean anything. It's no real proof. It's just silliness.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're just, you notice they only use them on their own people, just like we do. In
Oh
places we
yeah.
go spread democracy to. And you already know Putin didn't tell us that ISIS was a U.S. coalition force. The U.S. did. Remember? Wake the fuck
Mm-hmm.
up. Why is it all of a sudden when you heard it from Putin, now it makes sense? Get the fuck out of here.
That's
The U.S. wanted you to know. They already told you. They
yeah.
wanted you to know. Because the U.S. is not your government, U.S. people. That's why it's the Committee of 300. They wanted you to say fuck the U.S. and throw that system out because now they have a new system. Even though that system was also bad. And yes, we also, the regular good truthers, want to throw that system out as well. But they don't want you guys running and jumping into this new system they're about to set up, the centralized system. That's
Mm-hmm.
what we don't want. We want a sovereign system where we're not that.
Well,
See, we're not
speaking,
going to get that because the damn sheep are running with the herd, because they're the herd. They're running into the Putin is a good guy scheme. And it
well, Graham,
sucks.
Graham, speaking about that, that one video by Grindall this morning was a perfect example of what
Mhm.
we should be doing, how we should be spending a lot of our time watching like a hawk these local city councils
Going at
and
their
what
asses. There's like nobody in there except him and his
I know,
fucking girlfriend.
I know. I mean, this is one thing I know locally, I've always worked and kept up with what's going on with my city council because again, I've always known that you got to watch how things creep in there because a lot of times the very people who are serving on the council they don't even understand when they're given ideas of things they might implement if those things are rather sinister in their nature and associated with things that if they understood it they would not want to implement those things and that video from him this morning was excellent in showing how here this whole thing based on the final agreement that was made, in Paris, the climate agreement, where it was all made voluntary, and here it is all voluntary, and yet these city councils are going ahead and accepting it, thinking they're doing a good thing, and it's just incredible to me. And all it would take maybe would be a handful of informed people in that city to go down there and make sure they really understand what it is they're getting involved with.
I had to say it out loud. Levite said Putin would rape me.
Oh
I
no!
said I would literally break his heart. I would break Putin's heart
Oh my God!
right in half. There's no man raping me, bro. Don't worry about that shit. You know what I'm saying? That's some dumb shit to say. But he LOL'd it. So it's just a light passive aggressive attack. The ones I love the most. No big deal.
It's
But I
kind of
guess it's
reminds me
still
of
on
that.
then, I guess.
It reminds me of that British
No, that's
expression
me
about
not being able to have an opinion again. You know what I'm saying? Remember, I'm the guy in the room who doesn't allow others to have their opinion. And I'll start saying shit like that. Or is it someone else? I don't know. Let's take a look at the comments and see. I don't mind having an argue with somebody.
hmm
You turn it into something else. It's not really. That's not that anymore.
no, you're always up for a good debate.
No, not really. I mean, not. No, I'm not. Get it?
Well, when forced to, you are.
Nuh-uh.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Nuh-uh. See?
Are you being sarcastic with me?
Well, I'm debating.
I know. No, that's not debating. That's just being
Make a
argumentative.
point. Yeah, it's an aiding point,
Yeah.
comic
Well,
relief
that
type of thing.
reminds me of that British joke that from Monty Python, where the guy comes in and he slaps his money down and he says, "I want to pay for a good argument," or something.
Oh yeah. Oh my goodness, I remember that.
I
Well, I
want to
don't
have an
think this is
argument.
enough money. Well,
Yeah.
I believe it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Started right away. Yeah,
Oh, that show was a classic.
that's funny. That fucking came right to my head.
Yes.
There's a bunch of those cubicles, right? And you go through a different cubicle, and you see someone else doing
Exactly.
another one.
Of course, my favorite all-time skit from that show, I don't know if I can remember it all, but it was at the Piranha Brothers, where it was like a mafia type thing, okay? And they were talking about how he nailed his head to the coffee table or something. So stupid. Does any of the chat remember that episode of Monty Python, the Piranha Brothers? I have to find that again. That was hysterical. I was rolling on the floor
people,
with that one.
people got to know too that it's not just Zionism that is the enemy. People don't understand. There's a controlled opposition to Zionism as well. That is
Hmm.
also part of the game. So,
Absolutely.
that's a trick people aren't getting. They're going, oh, it's just those damn Zionists. And it's no, well, a guy who wants to start a war to fight all the Zionists is also Zionism. Having Israel is not the end game. It's the end game is create a war to end all people and end all wars and have one centralized government. So it doesn't need to be just the person who wants Israel. It's a person who wants that end game.
Hmm.
Is a Zionist, I call. Not just a person that wants a state of Israel. Person looking for that very end game. That's the Pharaoh elite. So it's more than just Zionists. There is a whole half more. Like
But then again, I do think
Zionism is half the enemy.
okay, I'm going to say something. I think it's important to understand, though, too, that I mean, at least I do hold people who either push Zionism or push the controlled opposition to Zionism. I hold each of those people personally responsible for not seeing through the game and being a part of the game that could end up getting a lot of people hurt.
Well, why don't
Because
you be?
again,
Why don't I see
again,
you?
let me
Why don't I see you punching more people in the face?
who me?
I should be like getting a phone call from Debbie. Yeah, I need you to help bond me out of jail. I just punched a nurse in the face. I saw her at the grocery store. Punched her right in the face.
I
That old
do some
bitch.
verbal punching, but do you honestly expect me to physically punch people in the face? Honestly,
Hell
do
yeah.
you?
Just punch him right in the face. You got some jewelry you can put on your knuckles.
You really want me to become a gangster?
No, of course I do.
Because it seemed to me one time when I made that statement, you didn't like it. So.
Whoa.
We all have our methods of fighting, my dear. So I think we should stick with what works best for us. Um,
Well, how's it working out for you? No, I'm
well,
just kidding.
I'm still working on it. I'm still working on it.
Maybe
I
finally,
I
if you
don't admit I
punch
found the
somebody in
perfect.
the face, why did that lady just punch that doctor in the face? And then there's a news story. Lady punches doctor in the face because he wouldn't show her the adverse reactions on the FDA report and lied to her. You lied to me? Bah! Mr.
Uh,
Grimm, Mr. Grimm videoed it live for YouTube.
hey, when we have that drama aspect, people will watch
Yeah,
it.
we got some music in the background. Punch right in the face. have one of those Batman smack boom bows, the horns and shit at the same time. Perfect.
Okay, that's it.
Sorry, comic relief.
Yes.
I can't stay mad about all this shit.
No.
I mean, I stay mad, but I can't like let my body feel that vibration the whole time.
No, that's
I have to trick
extremely
myself into
important.
laughing.
Hmm.
So, now you know why, guys. This is hard on the health if you're not always trying to fucking combat the negative vibe as well. So why does he
Yeah.
goof off right in the middle of a very serious situation? Because, motherfucker, I want to. It hurts not to.
I think that most people understand that, and I think you see, other people. You see that happening on every show to some extent, especially when it goes for quite a period of time, where it's very heavy into the not so pleasant aspects of the kinds of control we're trying to find ways to dissolve. You have to break it up, you know, and get some
Right,
more
Kendo.
strength.
Yeah, and you're right, too. Throwing it out there to Kendo. Right.
Oh, I'm
Everybody's
sorry.
got half of that right. Grim looks like a Holocaust survivor. You got half of it right. I'm a survivor, homie.
Well, is he talking about your avatar?
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a caricature of Bruce Lee on purpose, man.
Yeah. The more you use that avatar, the more I begin to associate the look of that with you. I don't know.
Well,
You know how the mind works. Yep.
honey. Did I say honey? It's a
Yes.
flea bite.
Yeah.
Sorry, dude. I
Honey.
did not mean that. I wasn't talking at you when I said that for sure. Not mean it.
I'm not Putin, mate. Laughing out loud.
Good, man.
You're in good form, Flea, this morning. Oh my goodness. Oh, that's great. That's great. Uh,
Ah.
so anything new in your neck of the woods?
Um, yeah,
Yeah.
but not all my moves are getting talked about out loud before I make them. That's all.
Mhm.
Can't.
Oh no, that's good. If you're
You
getting
know what's going on.
yeah, if you're
Partially
getting right, if you're getting
set up.
some
Yeah.
advancement into your research on stuff, yeah, that's great. I've also made some headways, but still, I'm in a few quagmires. I've got to, you know, work my way through here to make sure that what I'm looking at makes sense. So get there.
Right. So you've been thinking about my phase modality thingy?
I had to put that down while I was going back to some other things that I know is important that I've got to finish off on, some searching of data for.
No, I
But
meant like not like only, but uh, obviously I was just trying to break open a segue to talk about it, but never mind.
oh no, go right ahead. That's just really well. As you know, I went ahead and posted some of the
I guess that's
articles.
not what you want to talk about, though, so forget it.
No, go right ahead.
No,
I
that's
think that stuff
okay.
is. No, do it. Just do it.
No, I
Damn
don't
it.
want
Oh,
to.
thank you.
No, now it seems too forced.
Oh,
Just
come
kidding.
on. No, it is fascinating that you happen to have started to think about that at the same time
Well, it might be
that
why electricity can flow all the way across. That's why there will be plasma all the way through that Birkeland current, because plasma would actually be formed by that.
exactly.
'Cause that's why there would be plasma anywhere there's an electrical current out there, because plasma is one of the next modalities. See, there's 5 stages of matter then, and one's before plasma. And we are all one piece of that. Like that whole, you gotta imagine like outer space is all one big cell.
It's all solid, yeah.
It's all one cell, outer space. And inside of that cell, things can be formed out of the material of the cell to get harder and harder than the cell itself. See?
Right.
More
I like that
condensed.
idea
You
of
can get
also of like
particles. I mean, not
crystallization
particles. But yeah,
changing
more
patterns.
crystallization. And since we see
Hmm.
crystallization is a real thing, then, I
Hmm.
mean, it's not even so much as a guess that it could happen. Because we'll have a
Oh,
crystal in our air from our gas. There'll be gas into crystal. It's the same fucking thing. It's just
well, Glenn,
densities.
wasn't it amazing when after you were looking at the way you were seeing it, then I went out and I was looking for current research to see if anybody else was looking at this stuff, and we found at least several examples of it. And wasn't it strange that they even spoke of the same concepts when they were looking at liquefied light, or light becoming matter, or being the foundation, the pre-matter stage.
Well, no, they're
Um,
thinking light's going to become matter, but I'm saying light already is matter.
oh yes, that's like phase one, and there's a phase zero. I
Yeah, I go a little
understand.
bit
Yes.
deeper than them on that. That's why I
Hmm.
thought it was cool that they start writing right in that little area of it, because that means
Hmm.
that I might be onto something, especially with the
Hmm.
people from Princeton that are doing it. You know,
Exactly. Exactly. And but what I found was interesting was that the way that you were looking at it, and the way that I visualized what you were saying, this idea of crystallization out of that which already exists in a pre-matrix form, or a
yeah,
lattice form, using the concept of crystallization is exactly what they were doing. That was
yeah.
the way they were describing it. And I just thought, well, boy, that's another synchronicity there.
It's just
We're
weird
kind of
how I
all.
have no real education, but I can think of something that some people that are in the top fields of this shit are actually just now coming up with.
We all have that ability if we just use your
Mhm.
head.
That's right.
I just want to see more
Mhm.
people do it then, or at
Mhm.
least let them know that I actually did it, so they can do it. So like let you know it's doable, but
Again, that's part of that empowering thing, that self-empowering thing. Hmm.
it does belittle me a little bit to say anybody could do it, because anybody that has spent enough time on doing it like I have can do it, but not just anybody who's been sitting on the couch playing video games all day can't do it.
Oh, of course. That's the
That's
whole
kind of what
point.
I mean by that. Not
No,
saying
it takes
not to take
rigorous
away
work
from
and.
anyone. Anyone who's put any effort into it, maybe, but
Mhm.
not just anybody. Yeah, and I know what you meant by that, but I mean, for
No,
the
it
guy
takes.
who's
It's like
doing it, that
anything
kind of
else.
sucks. I see that there's no one out here really doing it at all, and then I hear from somebody, oh well, anybody can do that. I'm like, well, what the fuck aren't they? You know what I mean? If they can, you know what I'm saying? It
Hmm.
almost like it's not that I'm being greedy, but it kind of steals everything. Like it means I'm not allowed to have a bite. That's not
Oh,
greedy.
come
That's,
on.
you know what I mean, though.
No, no.
Be like
The
other people,
difference.
like with this. Oh, you think you invented Negalies? No, I told you Negalies are in all vaccines, though.
Hmm.
So I mean, there are things that it's like you aren't getting from other people that you are getting from me,
Hmm.
and they're just waiting for other people to have enough stuff put together, and then they can say they didn't get it from me or something. I don't know.
Oh no,
It feels weird.
absolutely. Time and time again, you've been among the first to make certain critical connections. And the one thing that I always valued is that fact that a lot of the connections that you make seem to be the kinds of connections that go to the source of something, or that kind of they're the connections that aren't the angle in prison, but the, well,
They're
how do I
valuable
describe it?
connections. Yeah, valuable,
Right.
coveted things that the secrets of the universe type connections.
Hmm.
The
Well,
thing
the
that got
ones that help
away
you to
from
see so
everyone.
many other things, right? The ones that are based to so many other things, that once you know that, all of a sudden a lot of other things become
Link.
connected and become clear. Yes.
It's not, yeah, and they're not randomized things where it would be cool. It would make sense. But they are like they are cool. They do make sense because look, they're also connected to this, that, and this that also makes sense. And you know what I mean?
Hmm.
It's not just one compartmentalized thought that you can't really determine if it's right or not. You
Hmm.
can. You start putting it into the machine and seeing does the machine work.
Hmm.
With that in there, and then that's.
I think of it as core connections.
Hmm.
You know, that they're at the top of the branching tree, you know. If you have that, now you've got the basis for so many other things. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, every time you get to another leaf, there's another one popping out. So you're busy on these branches all day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. Can't ever get to the core of the tree. Nice. Tree rings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Crypto says he's saying that other people are starting to talk about some of these issues too. It's being
Who?
reported. Crypto Callus.
Cryptocallus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's good to know, Crypto, because you know.
No, it is. It really is. And so have I. I also noticed, if I'll jump in at somebody for, you know, not pointing out the details. The U.S. is doing this and the West is doing that and the U.S. is doing that. And it's like, well, you pretty much aid in the NWO by acting like there's a U.S. You're keeping a team so that they can keep it separate. And it ain't no team. It's the
Mm-hmm.
Committee of 300 that runs the U.S. and Russia are doing this. That helps eliminate a lot of those stupid arguments and thoughts that are going on in people's heads.
Saves
Like,
time.
oh,
Yep.
one's
Mm-hmm.
fighting the other. No, no, no. The Committee of 300 that are running both of these companies, because they're not countries, they're companies, but corporations. The committee that's running both of these corporations is playing a game on the people of both of these countries.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not represented. People are not represented by anybody. Nobody represents the people. They
They
only represent
represent
the countries.
Mm-hmm.
There's nobody who represents the people out there. Not one person. They're all corporate CEOs of corporations. Persons are not people, and so on. And
Which means we have to represent ourselves.
or we just don't accept representation at all from anyone.
Well, that's what I mean. That's what represent yourself means.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Let no man speak for you. Uh-huh.
I didn't hear what you said anyway. It paused out, so I just. If I'd heard you say that, I wouldn't have just fucking added another leg to a 6-leg table.
Who knows? Maybe it's always good to have as many legs as possible in case one gets kicked out, you know? But that's another analogy. Yeah, I was initially surprised at what the climate summit finally produced. But then I realized that that's perfect. I mean, I'm perfect on a couple of levels. On number one, you know, it puts people unnecessarily at ease. Okay, about, oh, well, okay, nothing's mandatory, so they're really not going to do anything with this. I can rest now, right? I don't have to worry about a carbon tax. I don't have to worry about any of that stuff for at least another year, right? Of course, wrong, because the various trade agreements, particularly TPP, when it becomes fully effective, have all the base uh, avenues built within that agreement that allow it to implement all of those things, and
Yeah, right
without
here, the
any
control is there.
ability to contest it. Yeah. So clearly they had it in mind all along that when it came to the most dire of the things that they want to do, they want to do it through trade agreements like that because there will be very little ability for people to contest it. So for that reason, you know, there's no reason to relax. But like I said, when I saw that video by Grandal this morning, it's like it's amazing that even without having anything mandatory in that final agreement that was reached from the climate summit, still these city councils are going along with it, and it's just incredible to me. So again, it's clear one of those solutions is get involved locally with your city council.
No, one of the solutions is eject city council people out. They don't belong there representing people.
No,
None
they
of y'all.
don't.
Nobody belongs in anywhere representing me.
Mm-hmm.
They know people ain't looking at that shit. Get out of here. You need to ask us personally. You know what I mean? That's not asking us. They even set those people behind, where they face our backs at us and all kinds of shit
Mm-hmm.
in those rooms. They're not there for us, representing us. They're there to look at the board and, you know, just pretend like something's going on. So they could push this agenda to make people think that the agenda was actually pushed instead of forced.
I wonder if there are any.
No, that shit was just dictated on us.
I wonder if there are any examples of maybe small towns where people have been effective in completely changing the way that city council operates, where it becomes more of a voting process, where things have to always be voted on by the people of the city and not
Oh,
where everything has to be a
a town of
referendum.
1,000 or 500 people maybe,
Mm-hmm.
where they only have one sheriff and there ain't nobody there to combat all that bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Places
No,
in Arkansas. But no, those places don't really exist for real.
Well, I just mentioned that because you were saying that the solution is to dissolve it. Well, I'm just wondering if there are any successful examples of where that has been done.
You can try to
Essentially.
annex yourself from the fucking union,
Mm-hmm.
but how good is that working out? You know, nobody's doing it. You don't really even have power of your state, so it's federal is over state now. It never was like that, but you see the feds arresting people for pot when the
Mm-hmm.
state said it was legal. How's that allowed? How the fuck is that allowed? Who stood for that? There'd have been a gun battle up in my house over that shit.
Well, now that when it comes to what the police force of a particular city, at least just the city force, what they can and can't do is very much affected by decisions that, it can be affected by decisions that the council makes. And again, once again, being more involved in that. And what I'm talking about here is having lots of people, you know, where you can fill up that hall and down the hall, every time anything is decided. They can't turn their backs on you then, if you've got that many people of the city involved in the process. So I don't think that there's a need to.
Well, they can. They'll call it insurgents and then send the fucking UN in there. That's what they did to Afghanistan, right? They didn't want to deal with that. A lot of people stood up against that IMF banking. When there's a large enough faction of people to stand up against the thing, the people get knocked down so that phony government can be taken over, because it wasn't really going to be taken over. It didn't need to be. It would have been normal, but it had to pretend to be another way now and go get taken over. The Pharaoh already ruled that shit. They've already been ruling the world. This is all set up. It ain't like this. People keep thinking, oh, countries are getting taken over now. No, the Pharaoh ruled the world. The Jews did not kick the Pharaoh off the world.
No, I understand that, but I also understand
I just want to say it out loud again to the people
yes,
out there.
I also understand that at any given moment in time, in your city, on your city council, are real people sitting there who, if were properly made aware of things, every
You see
one
that
of
their
them.
vote doesn't count, right? You can see literally how the vote doesn't count. Usually, it won't even be to where you can see this closed ballot, so that they can always lie.
You're talking about
What's a
in terms of
closed
when
ballot?
right?
Why
You're
would
talking.
anybody want to be a closed ballot?
Mm-hmm.
Why is that such an awesome thing to be? What happened to people? If we can't be, if we want our government to be transparent, why aren't we being transparent with ourselves?
I agree with that actually, because we need to understand if we're ever going to have um, more individual responsibility within our communities, it's going
Well,
to
they
be
tricked us.
because
Sorry to interrupt you, Lost. They tricked us into wanting that privacy for that reason, so that they can trick us every time with the
very
vote.
astute observation. Yes, I agree 100%. Now that we're aware of that, the more of us that are, the more we need to make those who could change that back to, you know, a different kind of a system where we do take responsibility for a vote, where it is noted. You know, it's kind of funny because they do share that information when it serves their purposes. I mean, you saw how during various, at the federal level, various elections, they put out lists of, you know, of how people voted. And it's really shocked people when they said, how they get that information? I thought it was private. I mean, it never was. It never was private in the sense that
No,
the
they'll
government
do
did
it
not
when they
know
trick
what
the
you did.
population into being dumb enough to actually make the wrong choice. Then they'll show you, look, you guys actually made these votes.
Hmm.
You know, that makes a lot of sense because why not? Why not try to make it look real when you actually, first off, there's only fucking 3 candidate idiots up there in the first place for you to choose from at the end of the day. You know, then there's only fucking ends up being 2 parties at the end of the day to choose from. And so now there's just a paradigm of you've got 300 million or better people in the U.S., but only 2 or 3 are allowed to choose from to be the one. That's just not a choice.
Well, it's
They can
almost like
easily
comedy
stack
hour,
that
yeah.
deck. That's an easily stacked deck. What the fuck?
It's a joke every inch of the way. I know. It's like a comedy hour.
If there's a chance the deck can be stacked, folks, in this big in the league in the game, the deck is stacked. No problem.
Oh, that's been discovered. But these various groups that formed back right after the 2000 debacle, there were a number of groups that were formed, you know, to really investigate elections all over the place locally, and it was incredible what they found out how rigged almost every election they investigated was.
Even on the fucking Senate House floor, you see those creeps clanking each other's buttons for each other.
Hmm.
Doing the votes. Oh, the Democrats are up and off and doing something else, and the Republicans are smacking their buttons for them because they told them they could anyway.
Hmm.
So you see one guy voting at 10 tables because everyone else didn't even want to come to work. You know, clocking a card in for him or something.
Well, and it's even easier to rig it
The guy's
now
getting
with
paid
the.
to be there. And he took
See,
a fucking little chunk of.
Electronic voting machines.
I was going to say the electronic voting machines made it a cinch, you know, the right code where, you know,
Yeah.
2 votes for this guy equals only 1 or something, you know, where they have it
Yeah.
encoded in there.
And talk about taking our jobs. Why would they take that job away from the private sector to count the votes? That should be fucking regular axe people being able to count votes on paper. And that's for money, so they get paid to.
Hmm.
I mean, they got all this money going into millions and millions of dollars for your campaign. Well, that goes to those guys. Somebody gets jobs out of this, damn it.
Yeah.
All the money goes to the, you know what I mean? It's not jobs that y'all are making.
Well, the perfect example of getting money out of it is when they made promises to all those solar companies, or those alternative energy companies, and every one of them went bust afterwards. After they had
Yes,
taken all those taxpayer dollars. Yep.
we've got 4 here, you know, and then they had that one they was going to do, and that's kind of funny though. They voted it down, saying it was going to steal all the sun's energy, take all the sun's energy, and it causes cancer. Solar panels. So what the fuck? Really?
That I never heard of something like. I guess no one tried to run that one by me yet.
I found that out the day before yesterday. I was like, really? What the fuck?
Steal the sun's
I know.
Yeah, it's one big giant mafia.
Well, it's
Yeah, it is.
it's hard to watch any sci-fi shows these days
Oh yeah.
for me because of the way they botch science, talking about shit that don't exist and stuff.
Oh, I've always felt that way about so many of those.
It's hard to watch anything anymore.
Yeah.
I can't even have fun with it.
I don't either.
Like, oh, dude, show me. Yeah. Oh, no. Stole all the energy out of the core of the planet.
Well, especially the ones that deal with time. Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
Look at a time jump for a couple of minutes ago. but I'm still standing in the same exact place. I'm not more deep within the Earth or out in outer space because the planet's moving.
Exactly. They'd be in the middle, or else in the middle of a rocky planet or something. Yeah, it's like, give me a break. Or worse yet, they fall into a black hole.
Yes.
So many wrong on so many levels. It's like, oh
They
God.
didn't go into a black hole. It's a repulsion area.
Exactly. Well, if it's anything at all, right?
It's a repulsion area. You know, repulsing all the particles, neutral, positive, negatives, everything out of there, so no light can happen.
Yeah, the only black zones that we've seen in the lab are
We saw
repulsion areas. Yeah.
we saw how we can make a black hole with no gravitational effects. No light is allowed to go in there. It's not that light can't escape; it's that light can't go in. It's repelled out.
Hmm.
Just
Well,
this
and
one.
what they are calling black holes are more like Z pinches.
Or stars, you mean Z pinches.
Hmm. Because it will create the same kind of radiation, the same kind of effects that they're seeing. Um, we can create the same kind of outpouring of particles. And again, they just came up with this uh, as one possible alternative mathematically. They never proved it. Never. Hmm. People don't. A lot of folks don't understand that they were just still theoretical constructs that frankly never made a whole lot of sense, because whenever you start talking about singularities, it doesn't make a lot of sense. Things blow up with singularities. You know what I mean? They're not stable. And we know the universe has got a lot of stability in it. So,
Well, I gotta run, guys. It's been fun. Thanks for having me on the show.
Oh,
mhm.
anytime. Anytime.
Yeah. And Lost, it was good talking to you again. I'll talk at you another time.
Okay, you take
Say
care.
bye to everybody out there in the chat. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
I'll take care.
Take care. See you later.
See you later.
Man, forgot what window I
So,
was in.
oh, he was in the chat? Oh, how wonderful.
Who?
Oh, did you say
Me?
Grindel was in the chat?
No, I said I forgot which window I was in.
Oh, which window? Oh, okay. I thought you said Grindel.
Everywhere here says
Because we were talking about his video. Yeah. Yeah.
Murph says I am a singularity.
I am singularity. Does that mean you're single? Single? That's funny.
uh,
Oh my.
I guess
Well,
a lot of people went on over to the news rant, so
okay, well that might be a good place then to close it up, right?
yeah, I can. Okay. Okay, I'll see y'all tomorrow. Same. Maybe I'll be on time tomorrow. Won't have no technical issues again. So,
Wouldn't that be lovely? Yeah.
oh yeah.
For a change.
Oh shit. Well, thanks for joining everybody. Peace and love, and don't forget to help each other, and don't fall for the media's bullshit.
Yeah, take
Talk to
care
you.
everyone.
Take care. Love
Love each
y'all.
other. Bye bye.
Bye bye.